So you're at the car park, you think you're ready to go, but just stop, don't start just yet. Because most mistakes don't happen halfway up the mountain, they happen here at the car park. And before I start any walk, I have a little car park routine. This ensures that I start the walk with a clear head, I'm in a good frame of mind for making good decisions, and I'm avoiding any silly mistakes before I've even taken a step. So let me show you what I do. So the first thing I'm thinking about is my plan. Is my plan still doable? And I use the car park as a decision-making point. I've heard some people call it a key location. So I'm looking up at the mountains to see my route. The route up might be loaded with snow, there might be a safer option. Is the weather behaving? Is the weather as per the forecast? Have I been delayed on the way up? So do I still have enough daylight to do my planned route? I'm checking the wind direction, the wind speed, is it as per the forecast? Checking the clouds, are they building up and they're moving quickly? They're gathering? Because this in reality is your last easy chance to change the plan. So if the weather's not behaving as forecast, then you might need to revert to your plan B or plan C. And you're more likely to make some solid, sound decisions here down in the car park rather than halfway up a hill in a blowing gale with some time pressures on you. And the next thing I do is I'll align my map, just making sure that I'm setting off in the right direction. I've seen this dozens of times on Duke of Edinburgh expeditions, instructors, and on guided walks, the instructors there setting off really quickly with the groups, and after 5 or 10 minutes they're coming back to the campsite or the start point because they've gone in the wrong direction. So yeah, a quick half bearing, aligning your map, orientating your map, just to ensure you're setting off in the right direction. Because if you are leading the group, this is highly embarrassing from the outset, and you've lost your confidence with your group for the rest of the day. So the next thing I'm thinking about is the car. Have I paid for a parking ticket? Is that ticket displayed correctly? Have I parked responsibly? Don't be one of these idiots that parks in double yellows on pen of pass because other people have done it. Or be surprised when you turn up and your car's disappeared because you've parked in front of a farm's gate. So yeah, park responsibly. So where have I put the keys? I always put the keys in a zipped pocket. Today I've got my shorts on, I don't have any zips on my short pocket, so I'm ensured that I've put it in a zipped pocket. I don't want them dropping out on the floor as I'm climbing over a stile or something like that, because you get back to the car and the day is ruined. So yeah, ensure the car keys are locked away somewhere secure. And another big one with the car is just make sure everything's out of sight. Don't leave any valuables on the dashboard or anything that's going to tempt anybody to break into the car. So just put everything out of sight. And then I think about my kit. Do I have my waterproofs? Have I got some extra layers? Hat, gloves? Have I got enough food and drink for the day? Is my map and compass easily accessible? So some basic checks. I'm not suggesting you empty your rucksack and do a full kit check, but have you got the basics for the day? I was once heading up to the Lake District. I got stuck in traffic for a couple of hours, so I was a couple of hours late arriving at the car park. And I was in a mad rush to get up the hill and down before it got dark. And in my haste, I forgot my flask, forgot my battery pack for my phone, and I forgot my gaiters. So as I got up to the snow line, the snow was going into the top of my boots, and eventually it melted and I had wet feet after about an hour. You don't want to find out halfway up a mountain that you've forgotten your waterproofs when it suddenly starts raining, because up a mountain it's too late. The next thing I'm thinking about is electronics. How much battery life have I got on my phone? If I've been using a navigation app, something like Google Maps or anything else to navigate to the car park, make sure I turn it off. Do not want to get up on the hill in an emergency, find out I've got no battery because there's been a navigation app running in the background that's drained my battery. So turn your navigation apps off. I've got my head torch, I've got my spare head torch, and have I got my battery pack with the necessary cables? I was once on a walk where I had the battery pack, but the cable had snapped. So yeah, make sure you've got the cable to charge your phone, charge your head torch, etc, etc. And I'm also thinking about where I'm going to put my phone. I don't want my phone anywhere near my compass because it can affect your magnetic needle on your compass. I want it a zipped pocket, but before I put it away, I'm going to send one final text message to my partner just to let her know that I'm setting off. Then she knows exactly what time I've set off, and if I'm on a 6-hour walk, then she knows exactly what time I should be back home as well. And finally, just before I set off, I'm looking for my next decision-making location or key location. Somewhere that's obvious. It might be a fence line, a gate, a snow line, so I can make an assessment on the snow. And yeah, so I'm walking that first leg or that first section to my next decision-making point with a clear head, and I'm focused on I'm heading to that location rather than thinking about the whole route. So over years and years, I have eventually developed a simple mnemonic. And anybody knows me, and I've said this before, knows that I like a good mnemonic. So I don't leave the car parked till I'm fully packed. So packed, P is my plan for the day, weather, etc. A, aligning the map, ensuring I'm setting off in the right direction. C is for car, make sure I've got my ticket, it's packed correctly, etc. K for kit, I've got all my necessary kit that I need for the day. E for my electronics, and D for my next decision making location or key location. And there's just one more little thing that I do before I set off, and it's ready, steady, stop. And I just introduce a little bit of a pregnant pause before I set off. And some mountain rescue teams do this, and it's just having a couple of seconds just to stop and think, making sure you've got all the right kit. And if I'd done that on that previous scenario when I forgot my flask, my gaiters and my battery pack, then I wouldn't have forgotten them. So yeah, just that little pregnant pause, ready, steady, stop. So now, before I leave the car park, I make sure I'm fully packed. I've gone through my mnemonic, and I just introduce that little pause just to make sure I've not forgotten anything. And if you introduce this, you'll already be ahead of the game of the other people in the car park. And the big thing is, a good day on the hill often starts with good decisions made in the car park. And if you have found this video useful, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. And yeah, I'd be interested to know what pieces of kit you've forgotten prior to a walk, because I can guarantee most of us will have forgotten something at some stage. So until next time, that's me signing off, and thanks for watching.